Hello and welcome. So, let's get started with, the, or let's continue reading the book because it's getting late. And yeah, I didn't plan to be that late today. So, I will jump right into the book without blowing much. Chapter 9, The Never Bird. The last sounds Peter heard before he was quite alone were the mermaids retiring one by one to their bed chambers under the sea. He was too far away to hear the doors shut, but every door in the coral caves where they live rings a tiny bell when it opens or closes, as in all the nicest houses on the mainland, and he heard the bells. Kapitel 9. Der Niemalsvogel. Die letzten Geräusche, die Peter hörte, bevor er ganz allein war, stammten von den Nixen, die sich eine nach dem anderen im Schlafzimmer unter dem Meer zurückzogen. Es war zu weit weg, um ihre Türen schlagen zu hören. Doch an jeder Tür in den Korallenhöhlen, wo sie wohnen, erklingt, wenn man sie öffnet oder schließt, eine kleine Glocke, wie in den schönsten Häusern auf dem Festland. Und er hörte die Glocken. Steadily the waters rose till they were nibbling at his feet, and to pass the time until they made the final gulp, he watched the only thing moving on the lagoon. He thought it was a piece of floating paper, perhaps part of the kite, and wondered idly how long it would take to drift ashore. Presently he noticed, as an odd thing, that it was undoubtedly out up in the lagoon with some definite purpose, for it was fighting the tide, sometimes winning, and when it won, Peter, always sympathetic to the weaker side, could not help clapping. It was such a gallant piece of paper. It was not really a piece of paper, it was the Never Bird, making desperate efforts to reach Peter on her nest, by working her wings in a way she had learned. Since the nest fell into the water, she was able to some extent to guide her strange craft, but by the time Peter recognized her, she was very exhausted. She had come to save him, to give him her nest, though they were eggs in it. I rather wonder at the bird, for though he had been nice to her, he had also sometimes tormented her. I can suppose only that, like Mrs. Darling and the rest of them, she was melted because he had all his first teeth. She called out to him what she had come for, and he called out to her what was she doing there. But of course neither of them understood the other's language. In fanciful stories, people can talk to the birds freely, and I wish for the moment I could pretend that this was such a story, and say Peter replied intelligently to the Never Bird, but truth is best, and I want to tell only what really happened. Well, not only could they not understand each other, but they forgot their manners. I want you to get into the nest, the bird called, speaking as slowly and distinctly as possible, and then you can drift ashore. But I am too tired to bring it any nearer, so you must try to swim to it. What are you quacking about? Peter answered. Why don't you let the nest drift as usual? I want you, the bird said, and repeated it all over. Das Wasser stieg und stieg, knispelte ihm schon an den Füßen und sich die Zeit zu vertreiben, bis es ihn ganz verschluckte, beobachtete er das Einzige, was sich auf der Lagune bewegte. Er dachte, es sei ein Stück vorübertreibendes Papier, vielleicht ein Stück vom Drachen, und er fragte sich müde, wie lange es wohl dauern würde, bis er ans Ufer gespült würde. Dann fiel ihm plötzlich etwas Eigenartiges auf. Zweifellos trieb dieses Etwas mit einer bestimmten Absicht auf der Lagune umher, denn es kämpfte gegen die Flut, und manchmal gewann es, und wenn es gewann, konnte Peter gar nicht anders als zu klatschen, denn er stand immer auf der Seite des Schwächeren. Es war so ein tapferes Stück Papier. Es war nicht wirklich ein Stück Papier. Es war der Niemalsvogel, der verzweifelt versuchte, Peter auf seinem Nest zu erreichen, indem er mit den Flügeln schlug, und zwar so, wie er es gerade erst gelernt hatte, seit das Nest ins Wasser gefallen war. Konnte er sein seltsames Boot halbwegs steuern, doch als Peter ihn erkannte, war er schon sehr erschöpft. Er war gekommen, um ihn zu retten, ihm sein Nest zu überlassen, obwohl noch Eier darin lagen. Ich muss mich über diesen Vogel wundern, denn obwohl Peter ihm geholfen hatte, hat er ihn manchmal auch gequält. Ich kann nur vermuten, dass er wie Mrs. Darling und wer sonst noch weich geworden war, weil Peter noch alle Milchzähne hatte. Der Vogel rief ihm zu, warum er gekommen war, und Peter rief dem Vogel zu, was er denn hier zu suchen hätte, aber natürlich verstand keiner die Sprache des anderen. In Fantasiegeschichten können die Menschen ungehindert mit den Vögeln sprechen, und ich wünsche in diesem Moment, ich könnte es so tun, als sei das eine solche Geschichte, und könnte sagen, dass Peter mit dem Niemalsvogel ständig antwortete. Aber am besten ist noch immer die Wahrheit, und ich will nur erzählen, was wirklich passiert ist. Nun ja, sie konnten sich also nicht nur nicht verstehen, sie vergaßen auch beide, wie man sich benimmt. »Ich will, dass du in das Nest steigst«, rief der Vogel, so langsam und deutlich wie möglich, »und dann kannst du ans Ufer treiben. Aber ich bin zu müde, um damit noch näher zu kommen, also musst du versuchen, herzuschwimmen.« »Was schnatterst du da?«, antwortete Peter. »Warum lässt du das Nest nicht einfach treiben, wie immer?« »Ich will, dass du«, sagte der Vogel und wiederholte alles noch einmal von vorn. Then Peter tried slowly to Then Peter tried slowly and distinct. What are you quacking about? And so on. The never bird came irritated. They have very short tempers. You dunder-headed little jay, she screamed. Why don't you do as I tell you? Peter felt that she was calling him names. In that venture, he retorted hotly, so are you. Then, rather curiously, they both snapped out the same remark. Shut up, shut up. Nevertheless, the bird was determined to save him if she could, and by one last might effort she propelled the nest against the rock. Then up she flew, deserting her eggs so as to make her meaning clear. Then at last he understood and clutched the nest and waved his thanks to the bird as she fluttered overhead. It was not to receive his thanks, however, that she hung there in the sky. It was not even to watch him get into the nest, it was to see what he did with her eggs. Was schnatterst? Dann versuchte Peter langsam und deutlich. Was schnatterst du da? Und so weiter. Der Niemalsvogel wurde ärgerlich. Sie haben sehr wenig Geduld. Du dämlicher kleiner Trottel, schrie er. Warum tust du nicht, was ich dir sage? Peter hatte das Gefühl, dass er beschimpft wurde, und auf gut Glück gab er hitzig zurück, selber. Dann schnauzten sie sich Was etwas seltsam war, beide mit demselben Worten an. Halt's Maul, halt's Maul. Trotzdem war der Vogel fest entschlossen, Peter zu retten, wenn er konnte, und mit einer letzten kraftvollen Anstrengung ruderte er das Nest gegen den Felsen. Dann flog er auf und ließ die Eier zurück, um seine Absicht deutlich zu machen. Da endlich verstand er, packte er das Nest und winkte ein Dankeschön hinauf zu dem Vogel, der über ihn flatterte, doch nicht um Peters Dank entgegenzunehmen. Schwebte er dort oben in der Luft, auch nicht um zu schauen, ob er das Nest erreichte, sondern nur um zu verfolgen, was Peter mit den Eiern machte. There were two large white eggs, and Peter lifted them up and reflected. The bird covered her face with her wings so as not to see the last of her eggs, but she could not help peeping between the feathers. I forgot whether I told you that there was a stave on the rock driven into it by some buccaneers of long ago to mark the site of buried treasure. The children had discovered the glittering hoard, and when in mischievous mood used to fling showers of moidores, diamonds, pearls, and pieces of eight to the gulls, who pounced up in them for food and then flew away, raging at the scurvy trick that had been played upon them. The stave was still there, and on the Starkey and on it Starkey had hung his head, a deep tarpaulin watertight, with a broad brim. Peter put the eggs into this head and set it on the lagoon. It floated beautifully. Zwei große weiße Eier lagen in dem Nest, und Peter hob sie auf und dachte nach. Der Vogel hielt sich die Augen mit den Flügeln zu, um nicht zum letzten Mal die Eier sehen zu müssen. Dann aber linste er doch durch die Federn. Ich weiß nicht, ob ich euch erzählt habe, dass es auf dem Felsen einen Stock gab, der vor langer Zeit ein paar Piraten in den Stein getrieben hatten, um die Stelle zu bezeichnen, an der ein Schatz vergraben lag. Die Kinder hatten den glitzernden Hort entdeckt, und wenn sie gehässige Laune waren, warfen sie Massen von Moidoren, Diamanten, Perlen und Pesos nach den Möwen, die sich darauf stützten wie auf Futter und dann wieder wegflogen, wütend über den niederträchtigen Streich, den man ihnen gespielt hatte. Der Stock war immer noch da, und über diesen Stock hatte Starkey seinen Hut gehängt, einen schweren Persening, wasserdicht und mit einer breiten Krempe. Peter legte die Eier in diesen Hut und setzte ihn auf die Lagune. Er schwamm fantastisch. Okay, there's a footnote for Moidoren. And I will look it up real quick. Okay, this we already looked that up. It's Portuguese gold. Or to me more specific, a coin, a gold coin, a Portuguese gold coin that was crafted in a certain time span, the 17th century. So this is a word for it. Okay. The Never Bird saw at once what he was up to and screamed her admiration of him, and as Peter crowed his agreement with her, then he got into the nest, reared the stave in it as a mast, and hung up his shirt for a sail. At the same moment the bird fluttered down upon the head, and once more sat snugly on her eggs. She drifted in one direction, and he was borne off in another, both cheering. Of course, when Peter landed, he beached his bark in a place where the bird would easily find it, but the head was such a great success that she abandoned the nest. It drifted about till it went to pieces, and often Starkey came to the shore of the lagoon and, with many bitter feelings, watched the bird sitting on his head. As we shall not see her again, it may be worth mentioning her that all never birds now build in the shape that shape of nest with a broad brim on which the youngsters take an airing. Niemals Vogel begriff sofort, was er vorhatte, und schrie ihm seine Bewunderung entgegen. Und ach, wie stimmte Peter in den Jubel ein. Dann kletterte er ins Nest, richtete den Stock darin Holzmast auf und hängte sein Hemd als Segel daran. Im selben Augenblick flatterte der Vogel hinunter zum Hut und ließ sich abermals gemütlich auf den Eiern nieder. Der Vogel trieb in eine Richtung und Peter wehte sich in die andere, beide in bester Stimmung. Als Peter ans Ufer gelangte, zog er sein Schiff natürlich dort an Land, wo der Vogel es leicht finden würde. Aber der Hut war ein derartig großer Erfolg, dass er sein Nest nie wieder benutzte. Er trieb auf dem Wasser herum, bis es auseinanderfiel, und Starkey kam oft ans Ufer der Lagune und beobachtete mit viel bitteren Gefühlen, wie der Vogel auf seinen Hut saß. Da wir ihm nicht mehr begegnen werden, sei es an dieser Stelle der Erwähnung wert, dass von nun an alle Niemalsvögel ihre Nester in Hutform bauen, mit einem breiten Rand, auf dem die Küken spazieren gehen. Great were the rejoicings when Peter reached the home under the ground almost as soon as Wendy, who had been carried hither and thither by the kite. Every boy had adventures to tell, but perhaps the biggest adventure of all was that they were several hours late for bed. This so inflated them that they did not various dodgy things to get staying up still longer, such as demanding bandages. But Wendy, though glorying in having them all home again, safe and sound, was scandalized by the lateness of the hour, and cried, to bed, in her voice that had to be obeyed. Next day, however, she was awfully tender, and gave out bandages to everyone, and they played till bedtime, at limping about and carrying their arms in slings. Die Freude war groß, als Peter in das Haus unter der Erde erreichte, fast zur gleichen Zeit wie Wendy, die vom Drachen hierhin und dorthin getrieben worden war. Jeder Junge hatte ein Abenteuer zu erzählen, das doch das größte Abenteuer von allen war, dass sie eigentlich schon vor Stunden ins Bett gemusst hätten. Das machte sie so aufgekratzt, dass sie sich die verrücktesten Dinge einfallen ließen, um noch länger aufbleiben zu können. Zum Beispiel um Verbände zu bitten. Doch Wendy, obwohl sie strahlte vor Glück, dass alle gesund und munter wieder zu Hause saßen, war erschüttert, dass es schon zu spät war, und rief in einem Ton, dem man gehorchen musste: Ab ins Bett, ab ins Bett. Am nächsten Morgen aber war sie furchtbar lieb und machte jedem einen Verband, und bis zur Bettgehzeit spielten sie damit und humpelten herum und trugen ihren Arm in der Schlinge. Okay, this was chapter 9. And unfortunately, I can't read any further today, at least. We don't have time for another chapter. Yeah, I would love to read another one. It was a very short session today, but it can't be helped. I have to do other things today after the stream, so yeah, I hope I can read more tomorrow. But yeah, I still have a few minutes left. So I can at least talk a little bit about the book. The bedtime stuff is really it is so relatable. When I was a child, there was like a fixed time when you would go to bed. At least when I was younger. So there was no, I don't know, no postponing that hour. It was kind of a fixed time, and of course we tried to stay up longer. But you know how it is. And so it is really hilarious, like seeing or reading that this is like the most important thing to be obey to. So those kind of hours, those fixed dates on during a day where you would do X or Y. And also that Wendy herself is quite, how you say it, concerned about not breaking those rules and do the things in the hours that are meant to be done in this certain time frame or frames. No matter what happens, this is really, I can even as an adult, I can relate to that. Also, like working with schedules and yeah, I mean, it does not seem like it because of the different times I do the stream, but this is like free time for me when I have not, how you said it, when I plan my time that is not reserved for free time. There, the schedule is very fixed, and for me at least. So everything else I plan around that. So this is basically why the times here for the stream can vary depending on what I have on my plate on this day. It would be different if was a stream where if I would do this like for profit, but it is just a hobby or like something that I do when I feel like doing it, not having to do it when I feel like I want to do it. It's so there I go. I'm a little bit more flexible when it comes to free time. So yeah, I'm not sure. We are at page 200 currently, and there are 150 pages about that 150 pages, something like that, are left of the book. Then we are through it, and with that, I'm not sure what I probably want to read next. When I read something, I think I will return to the playing games for now. I'm still intimidated by Baldur's Gate 3, but it can't be helped. I have to get back to the game at some point, and probably I will start slow and don't try to I don't know, try to rush through it or try to force it. Yeah, maybe I'm not sure 100%. Maybe I will install some additional mods in the future, which make my life easier playing the game. I rather I'm normally I'm not the type of doing something like that. The quality of life stuff that I installed, the WASD for walking around, and I don't know, the camera movement stuff with the mouse. It's just gameplay stuff, not like, I don't know, there are other mods, for example, that the gold that you are carrying with you does not weigh anything. So this is like a game mechanic that is crucial for the game, as like activating God mode or something. I don't want to do that necessarily. So because it can alter the game experience significantly. So we will see if and when and if and if I want to change something and what I will change. I'm not sure about that yet. So for starters, I will just continue playing and see how it goes. This will be probably somewhere sometime next or the week after next week, because I think we have to, I'm not sure, we will not finish the book this week, I guess. It's too few days left that I can stream and read. Tomorrow will be probably the last day this week I can stream, because of other things I have to do the remaining days of the week on evenings. So probably we will take another week it will take another week to finish this book. I give my best, but for now, I'm out, and I wish everyone a lovely day or night, and where you live, and of course stay safe, and tune in again. We see each other around. Bye bye.